Hi, everybody, and welcome to Problem Solve Her. Two fabulous women doing a podcast to empower women and men to give great advice and confidence and independence. And we're of different ages, but we have so many similarities. And we don't really wear makeup, and our skin is just flawless. And I'm your co host, Chloe, along with my girl,
Dagmar.
house. Guys, it's holiday season and we're just like feeling really good. My hair probably needs to be dyed, but whatever. Dagmar's skin looks fabulous. I put on a little lip gloss today
Beautiful as
because,
always.
why, thank you. I put on lip gloss because we're talking about dating and I have to look good when I talk about this subject because I remember when I was growing up, what dating was like in the early 2000s. I want to say like properly dating or even like 1999. Yeah, like 2000. I want to say 2000. It's when I started living in Manhattan, 2001. Back then, I mean, I'm not talking like the 70s or the 80s, right? Or the 60s, but dating even just 2 decades ago when you're really young was so different than it is today. And you would sit by your phone. I still remember my phone. I had my own phone line. I had my parents put my phone line in. And Dylan's like, what about me? No, I'm the only girl. I have my own phone number. And I wait for the guy to call and then we'd go out on a date. No internet. I mean, yeah, you text on a beeper on the phone or Blackberry Messenger. We had Blackberries. And it was just different, you know? And men would court women and they would bring them flowers and they'd bring the mother flowers to the door and they drive up and they take you out. Okay. Dating today, I don't really understand it because I've been in a very long-term relationship for, 8.5 years. So getting back into the dating scene, I don't know anything about it. I know what I would like or whom I would consider a life partner or maybe someone to marry and what the green flags are versus the red flags. But Dagmar, the problem is this. See, now she's getting excited. Now she's getting closer to the couch. She wants to hear this. This is what it is. And this is all over social media. Men keep telling women, oh, women, if you want to get this guy, this is what you have to do. And red nail theory and, all these games and don't call back and wait for him and ghost and just, no. Let's keep it simple, stupid, which is a phrase in life. Just keep it simple, stupid. Mark Cuban says it on Shark Tank.
I like Mark Cuban.
He's the best that was ever on Shark Tank. And keep it simple, stupid means don't overdo it. Okay. So today, women as well, this is not just men, but mostly men because they have really big egos. Sorry, men, I love you, especially the tall ones with lots of hair, is that you guys need a lot of ego stroking, right? So, for instance, if a girl hits you up on Facebook Messenger, on Instagram, on TikTok, on whatever dating app you're on, you're like, oh my God, I have all these women speaking to me. And from most women's point of view, women that are really genuinely looking for a life partner or a husband, someone to have a family with, we can't talk to 4 or 5 guys at the same time. Okay. We don't want to be in a situation where we're talking. I'm giving an example. We're talking to Bill and we think it's Jim. And we go, so what is it like being divorced? And he goes, I've never been married. And you're like, oh, wrong conversation. We can't do that. We're not really wired to be in those settings. We're wired to be nurturing and focused and really putting our efforts on one person. And someone like me, who's a Taurus, and anyone that's a Taurus or knows anything about star signs know that Tauruses are the most loyal. So I just can't play that. Let me date 3 or 4 guys and see what happens. So Dagmar, I don't know what you think in today's world dating could be like or should be like, or what women should really try to focus on. But your buddy David Guillaume was on a Kabbalah call. By the time I came on, there was like a couple thousand people. Michelle, who was on here, our good buddy and maritime attorney, said, I don't know if you want to jump on this. And I said, I have like 20 minutes. And he was speaking about dating. And when you break up with somebody, this is when I happened to sign in. It was like he was talking about how people are saying that dogs are like their third or fourth child if you have other kids, and how they're so a part of your family. And then the very next thing he was speaking about was when you finished a relationship, when you break up with a significant other, whether it's your husband or someone you dated for a very long time, you can't hold on to anything in that. You have to release it and you have to see the light. You have to give that person light, whether you have to forgive them, whether you have to let something go. He said, text this person right now that you need to release out of your life and just say, I forgive you. And
You now a
I want,
David Guillaume fan? Are you now a David Guillaume fan?
no, I know who he is for a while. I already, but you have to understand that Eitan and Eliyahu are who David is. They were the guys that were doing this in 2005, 6, 7 in New York and LA. They're the ones that really kicked this off. So he's the younger generation of them. He is their
He's a pretty good
protege.
younger generation then.
He's their protege. So I already knew who he was, but because Eitan and Eliyahu were really the ones, and they're learned rabbis of over 25 years, which is technically what you need to be to teach Kabbalah and the Torah and the Talmud.
And so
David's
now
not.
you like David Guillaume too.
But I already knew who he was, and I kind of said, you know what, let me give him another chance. When I say chance, I mean because he's not of the ilk of these other two rabbis that have 3 decades in already. Anyway, so he said, text this person now. You have to release this. Say you forgive them and that you wish them a wonderful life and that they're happy, however your wording is.
Did you do it?
I tried. I did. And then it resulted in an immediate phone call came in and I was like, oh no, maybe I should have done this.
Did you answer the phone call?
I couldn't. I was on the Zoom. But then, he kept calling and we spoke. But I feel so much better because here's the thing. And my dad said this. Men are very intuitive in the sense that if they feel like they know you're in a relationship or you're getting over a relationship or you're not ready to receive them, they don't approach you in a bar, at a restaurant, at a sporting event, at a concert. They feel the energy. They have to know that you're available. And I think that is true about men. But going back to what I was saying in terms of dating today versus 20 years ago, is that because there are so many options and because social media and an online presence plays such a big role, especially with dating apps, which have been around for a while, but now they're more advanced. And people, if you find someone attractive on Instagram, you can just follow them and you can write them and say, hi, I like your profile. I think you're hot. Do you want to talk? Or on TikTok, I have guys writing all the time. Oh, the chutzpah girl, you're Jewish. Are you single? Now, some of them are, others I'm like, okay. Do I want to meet someone this way? I don't know. But the point is, it's a lot more effort and a lot more work than dating used to be when the old school days, everything was easy. And I think that because of that, today it makes it harder for 3 reasons. One is when you're in your 40s and you meet a guy, he's a lot of the times divorced and with children, and you have to be okay with that. Or maybe he was divorced with no children. I'm okay with all of it. So that's a big thing. You have to see if you're ready to take on someone that has children, because I've dated a few guys that have kids, and I'm going back over a decade. And the other thing is that's really important is you have to see who's genuine today and what their reasoning is for wanting to potentially get into a new relationship. That's really important. And then the third thing is you have to be aligned. If you don't have similar backgrounds, that doesn't mean religion or race. Let me be clear. Background, and you grew up where you both came from a home where you were close with your family and your siblings, and you're still close with them today. I've met and been in relationships with men in the past where they don't speak to their parents. They've had massive falling outs with family members, or they came from a divorced family, or a lot of different things that when you grow up as an adult, it affects you, but you're suppressing it. So then when you get into a relationship and you become close with somebody, you dump all of that onto them. So there are things that I think we need to really think about and look at and see in the very beginning before you get into the relationship. I saw a woman do a TikTok yesterday, and she's a therapist. about the 3 things you should notice if you're doing online dating on Bumble or Hinge. When you read a guy's profile, if he's complaining at all in the very beginning, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. And if you do this and you have that and you live here, forget it. Right. So she was giving the 3 top things when you look at somebody's profile, not if they're good looking and they're tall, don't swipe right. There are signs in what they're writing in their profile. Really read it and scroll down. And if you see any of the ones that she had mentioned, forget it. It's like you're saving yourself the time. The red flags are already there. And I think that it's a lot. It's a lot of work to want to date today. You have to really put the time and the energy in. I'm exhausting talking about it. What do you think?
We would like to take a moment in this episode to thank our sponsors. Palm Beach Dog Academy is located right here in the heart of sunny South Florida. Founded by Jeff Nelson, who did his training at the Harvard of Dog Training Academies at the Tom Rose School in Missouri. I can say firsthand that Jeff not only has the credentials and the experience, he knows how to train dogs properly. He trained my beloved Oscar, our furry favorite guy who lived till 19 years of age. For more information about Jeff's packages and his academy, please visit palmbeachdogacademy.com.
I want to come back what you said about David, what David said, that when you're not ready, the right man will not attract you, right? And
My
the
dad's been
opposite,
saying that for years also. It's true.
and the opposite is the case too. The man will feel attracted to you who are on your level. So if you're still sad, bitter, depressed, cannot let go of the past, that's normally what you will attract, others who are on the same level. And then what I realized from my life and from learning about Kabbalah from David Giham and just in general, if both are willing to grow, right, and heal the inner child and overcome the attachment styles and create a healthy attachment style, that's beautiful. When you meet
If you
somebody,
can do that, that's rare though.
and so compared to what I did in the past with dating, and I'm like you, I didn't date for a long time. And then the last few years, I was dating. A key thing is to pace myself down because I have the tendency when I feel emotionally attracted to somebody or somebody is like, I love intelligent men, I love smart men, I love men who are compassionate and have empathy. And then I get emotionally attached. And then it's difficult for me to take the blinds off. And in my last relationship, that's exactly happened. We met on Bumble and great profile. And we met in person a few times and was a great guy. And then we went out in public in his environment, like he likes sports and going to the pub, whatever. And suddenly a totally different person came out. Like somebody I did not know, like performer and social butterfly, where with me was total introvert, right? So because I didn't pace myself down emotionally, I was already attached. So I stayed too long in the relationship as it was healthy. And what I took from there is really take your time, like what you said, take your time to get to know somebody in different situations with his friends, with his family, in the restaurant. How does he deal with servers, right? How does he treat others in perhaps in a stressful situation, whatever, when you're driving and you're running out of time, and give yourself the freedom to recognize the signs and then decide, is that what you want or not?
Absolutely. You know, I've said this so many times on here, and this is from when we did an episode about our favorite quotes. One of yours was Eleanor Roosevelt. When people show you who they are the first time, believe them. And that's what Maya Angelou says. But the problem is sometimes they don't. In the case where you were dating this guy, I dated a guy that I met through my parents' very good friend in Jamaica, half British, half Jamaican. And because I had met him through his father, who I had known for years and who my parents were good friends with, I thought I knew who I was getting. And what I mean by that is when we first met, he was a little shy, a little introverted. And I went, I don't even know if this guy's like strong enough for me because I have a big personality. And I know this whole thing with the opposites attract, but for me, it's not. I need someone like me and my dad. I want to walk into a room and have this guy be like, hey, I'm going to go in this corner. You go in this corner. We'll meet in an hour. I don't want to like squirm like, oh, where is she? No, please, I'm not doing it. I know what I want. He doesn't have to be as bubbly as I am, but I want a guy who's really independent and strong and can take on a woman with a big personality who he's not threatened by. So I'm thinking again, I don't know, with this guy, and he's kind of quiet. So we dated for several months. And then he was adamant that I moved to London because we could not do this long distance. It was too far. I was living partly in Jamaica and partly in New York at the time. And I did it because, again, from a family friend. It's not like he was a stranger I met. I already knew his dad and his family. What happened was his mother was not with his father for many, many, many years. He had moved back to Jamaica. There's a lot of British Jamaicans. I don't want to get into the whole story, but he had a lot of abandonment of his father leaving, going back to Jamaica. He was very close to his mom, and she had passed away a few years before I met him. So he was holding on to a lot of stuff. So when I moved there, we were only dating 3 months. Everyone thought it was wild. But my parents said, okay, but it's our good friend's son. We have to trust it. Like, that's the only reason why. They would have held me back and, chained me to the ground if it was any, stranger. Within a month of moving there, all these other signs started coming up and things that I was like, okay, well, this is a whole different person, and aggressive and very dominating, and, where I could go and who I could see in my time. And really a lot of insecurities came out. And then we went on really a sabbatical. In the UK, they call it a sabbatical for 6 weeks. And we went all over Asia, Southeast Asia, and Thailand, and all these places. And the behavior was like wild to me. And I didn't see this very early on because I hadn't known the person yet. But as soon as he showed me who he was, that was it. And I think it's really important that if someone doesn't show you who they are right away, because there are signs we kind of maybe don't see them or we're in the ether of, especially if you're very sexually attracted to someone and you have really good chemistry, you block other things out. It's like you pretend they're not even there. And I think that's what I did, because I look back in the very beginning, there were maybe a couple of insecurity signs, which is fine. We're all insecure, especially in the beginning of a relationship. But as soon as you see these things, ladies, gentlemen too, out. Don't even bother. And I was really proud of myself that I got out of that situation. Today, all my life lessons, because I've been in so many long-term serious relationships. I haven't been married yet. 3 different guys wanted to marry me. 2 bought rings. I was too young. I just wasn't ready. I was living in New York City and I was enjoying my life and I was making my own money. But I think that now, in retrospect, and I honestly can say that I can't say, oh my God, this one, I can't believe I let that one go. I should have married him. I'm really saying that honestly.
When no
Happy
one
with all
got
my
away.
choices so far. What?
No one got away.
No, I'm telling you, they didn't. Trust me. Is that I have the capability, though, once I fully move on, because like you, sometimes it takes me a little while and it depends on all the dynamics of the relationship. But when I'm done, I'm like an old school Italian. Che cazzo, finito, andiamo, let's go. It's over. It's
Yeah,
like
me too.
done.
It takes me a long time, but when I'm done, I'm done.
But when we're done, we're done. Exactly. And that's in any friendship or anything else.
About dating, what became very obvious to me, love languages, how important love languages are. Like my love language is communication and spending time together, right?
Mine too.
And with
And
my
touch.
last relationship, he seemed to have the same love language. And at the time, as we broke up, and he read the book Love Languages, he texted me after we broke up and he said, oh, I realized with my love languages, I like to spend time and touch at the pub. And then with you, I like to give you gifts, presents. My love language does not include presents. I can buy my own presents. I didn't, and the whole time we were together, I did not realize this was his mindset. that spending quality time and touch where you hug everybody's at the pub. And then with me, you don't need like holding hands or whatever, or having a romantic dinner. With me, it was, he thought he totally pleases me when he would give me gifts. And from that day on, I thought, wow, when I date again, I will check the love language in the relationship. Because for me, it's so like, for me, and I think for you too, communication and spending time and touch is like what drives us, what makes us feel loved. And if we don't
Absolutely.
have that, we feel
Yep.
neglected.
We would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Cafe Bastille originated in Miami, now has a location in downtown Fort Lauderdale for almost 2 years. Located steps from Las Solas and sitting on the canal, I can personally say I frequent there often. Their lattes are wonderful, hot or cold. The velvet pancakes just melt in your mouth. The pommes frites are on point, and the bottomless mimosas for brunch all day long are absolutely fabulous. For more information, please go to cafebastilledowntown.com.
And we also have to, and ladies, please, this is so important. I'm speaking specifically to women. You have to ask so many questions up front. So guys will say to me, "Wow, are you in the FBI? Are you the director? Are you an undercover agent?" Because no, I want to know exactly what I'm getting. And if you ask the core questions right up front, this is years of figuring all this out. Please, we didn't just like come up with this, you know, is that you have to ask the right questions up front. And I need someone who's very close with their family. If someone is disrespecting their family or saying, F my parents, my siblings are asshole, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Forget it. I'm not even interested in that. I want someone who's totally stable. I want someone whose house is in order and there's no chaos and they're not all over the place. A lot of guys say are like, oh, I'm traveling every month and I can work from it. I want someone grounded and stable. I have someone that I am interested in. He knows who he is, and we'll see what happens. He's going to be here shortly for many months. But the thing is this, we all want to be loved and seen and heard, and I'm going to leave it at that, and that's my message. Daggy, what's yours?
Mine is take your time.
Excellent. That's so well said. That being said, it's the holiday season, everybody. Christmas is coming up, New Year's. Spend time with people you love. Find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, YouTube, ProblemSolvHer.com, no E on solve, Instagram, TikTok, The Chutzpah Girl. And we hope to see you all soon.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.